So today we're going to read the book of Robert Fugate called God's Mandate for Biblical Education. And this part or chapter, anyway, it is called Jurisdictions, Family, Church, and State. So this is basically going to say what should the family do, what it should not do, and for the church and for the state. So let's go up. God has ordained three primary social institutions: family, church, and state. As the creator and sovereign Lord, God alone has the prerogative to assign the separate functions and the unique jurisdictional authority of each God-ordained institution. Educational is outside jurisdiction of civil government and church. Biblically, the education of children is not within the jurisdiction of the state or of the church. Every verse in the Bible that commands someone to teach, instruct, train, educate, or discipline children is addressed to the children's parent, and primarily their father. And so we have Genesis 18:19, Deuteronomy 4:9, and 6:1-9, and 20-25. We've got Deuteronomy 11:19-22, Psalms 78:35-6, and Proverbs 1:8-1, 21 entire, 4:1-11, 20 full chapter, 5:1, 6:20-22, 13:1, 15:5, 32, 19, 27, 22, 6, 23, 22, 31:1, and Ephesians 6:1-4. Right. So consider the following verses: Deuteronomy 4:9 NASB, Moses to the fathers and the sons of Israel, versicle 25, 31, 44, and 46, 44-46. So let's go. Only give heed to yourself and keep your soul diligently, lest you forget the things which your eyes have seen, and lest they depart from your heart all the days of your life, but make them known to your sons and to grandsons. Remember the day you stood before the Lord your God at Horeb, when the Lord said to me, "Assemble the people to me, that I may let them hear my words, so they may learn to fear me all the days they live on earth, and that they may teach these children." Deuteronomy 6:7-20. Moses to all Israel. So that you and your son and your grandson might fear the Lord your God, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command you, all the days of your life, and that your day may be prolonged. And you shall teach them diligently to your sons, and shall talk to them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie, sit down, and when you rise up. When your son asks you in time and come, say, "What do the testimonies and the statutes and the judgment means, which the Lord our God commanded you?" Then you shall say to your son, "We were slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt, and the Lord brought us from Egypt with mighty hand." Exodus 13, Deuteronomy 11:19, NASB, Moses to Israelite adults, chapter 9, verse 1 and chapter 11, verse 2. You shall teach them to your son, talking of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk along the road, and when you lie down in your house, and when you walk, and when you rise up. Deuteronomy 32:7 NASB. Moses to disobedient Israel. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of all generations. Ask your father, and he will inform you. Your elders, and they will tell you. Deuteronomy 32:46 NASB. Moses to Israel. He said unto them, Take to heart all the words with which I am warning you today, which you shall command your sons to observe carefully, even all the words of this law. Proverbs 1:8 NASB. Hear, my son, your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. Proverbs 2:1. My son, if you receive my words and treasure my commands within you, so that you incline your ear to wisdom and apply your heart to understanding. Proverbs 3:1 and 21 NASB. My son, do not forget my teaching, but let your heart keep my commandments. My son, let them not vanish from your sight. Keep it sound wisdom and discretion. Proverbs 4:1-4 and the verse 10 and 20 NASB. Hear, O sons, the instruction of a father, and give attention that you may gain understanding. For I give you sound teaching. Do not abandon my instructions. When I was a son to my father, tender, and the only son inside of my mother, then he taught me and said to me, Let your heart hold fast my words. Keep my commandments and live. Hear, my son, accept my sayings, and the years of your life may be many. I have directed you in the way of wisdom. I have led you in upright paths. My son, give attention to my words. Incline your ear to my sayings. Do not let them depart from your sight. Keep them in the midst of your heart. Proverbs 5:1 NASB. My son, give attention to my wisdom. Incline your ear to my understanding. Proverbs 6:20 NASB. My son, observe the commandment of your father, and do not forsake the teaching of your mother. Bind them continually in your heart, tie them around your neck. Proverbs 13:1 NASB. A wise son accepts his father's discipline instruction, but a scoffer does not listen to rebuke. Proverbs 29:27 NASB. Cease listening, my son, to discipline, and you will stray from the words of knowledge. Proverbs 31:1 NASB. The words of King Lemuel, the oracle which his mother taught him. Ephesians 6:4 NASB. And fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. The book of Proverbs, which was written as a tool for teaching God's law, particularly emphasizes that wisdom and instruction, discipline, are imparted through an intergeneration apprenticeship relationships, particularly in the covenant home. In book of Proverbs, the word son occurs 59 times, father 26, and mother 14 times, for a total of 99 occurrences. Furthermore, these verses teach that the family home, including the family land and the family business, is the center for instruction and education, especially Deuteronomy 6:7-9, 11:18-20. Although parents also instruct their children outside the home, Deuteronomy 6:7 and 11:19. So the red words, they were the words which I did not know the meaning, but now I've got the meaning of them. And heed is guardar, last is para aqui, or com o objetivo de. Forsake is abandonar, scoffer is escarnecedor, rebuke or rebuke is repreensão, and stray is disperso. So I think I wrote disperso errado, wrong, but right. Wish you could learn from what we heard here. So biblically, the fathers, the parents, and primarily the father, must teach the son, which is under his roof, and the state must not interrupt these. But as you all know, it does, and it is wrong.